Hello there and welcome back. Sorry for the interrupted broadcast. There was some internet issues in this part of the kitchen. But anyway, I am back and we're going to resume wherever we trailed off. I'm going to quickly walk you through the ingredients that we need for this water spinach recipe, and you will actually see how simple it is to do something that's green and something that's easily available, just to switch up your variety in your diet a little bit, just to do something different and to experience a new taste without spending a whole lot of time or money um, on making this. Okay, so let me put you right here so you can have box office seats to all the entertainment that you're about to witness. Okay, so like I said, this is water spinach that I bought at the Asian supermarket, and it comes in a big bag like this. And the leaves are kind of long looking, so there are long leaves that look like this, and then there's soft stalks. So don't use the thick stems towards the end of it. Like, don't use the stems that are this thick, but chop up all the leaves till the soft barks. What I've done is also boiled it with a little bit of, I've washed it really well. You want to make sure there is no grit in it. I've boiled it really well. I've washed it really well. I've boiled it with a little pinch of salt. And you know, greens tend to be a little salty, so be very careful when you add your salt. And just the way it tastes right now, it's very creamy. It's not like regular spinach. Do remember to drain the water, because sometimes water spinach can be a little brackish, and you don't want that brackish taste to come in your finished vegetable. So we're going to set this aside till it completely drains. Along with this, some other things that are going into this recipe are ta-da, mustard oil. So this is part of my East Indian heritage. I was born in Calcutta, and a lot of simple dishes, especially stir fries and sautés that are made in Bengali cuisine, are made with mustard oil. If you don't have this, you can certainly use olive oil or just a spray, whatever you have. But mustard oil gives it that nice hint of flavor, which is really authentic. Okay, in this recipe, we're also going to use one green chili, one Thai chili, and I've split it in half. If you don't like the heat, like I'm freaking out right now because that's a lot of seeds, and I know it's going to be a lot of heat. So I'm a little scared because I really don't like heat. And also is one onion that's been chopped. I will also be using Nigella seeds. This is black Nigella seeds, and they come in a bag in Indian grocery stores. This is what they look like. It's called black Nigella. So I'm going to be using about a teaspoon of these. And the star of this dish, apart from the water spinach, is garlic, like a lot of garlic. So either a whole bulb of garlic. I've used about 13 cloves of garlic only because I use them peeled. So this is about 13 cloves that I've grated, and my pan is nice and hot. The simplest thing to do now is just to saute everything together and get this party going. So this is a dish that I only know how to eat, but I never knew how to make it, which is why when I bought it yesterday, I had to call my mom this morning and ask her how is it that she makes it, because I have no idea. But I grew up eating this thing, and yet I have no idea how it's made. So it's kind of, yeah, it's strange, but it's the truth. So is there anything that you grew up eating that you don't know how to make? That would be nice to know. I'm basically just chopping this up and putting it along with the boiled stuff. It doesn't matter. Now, when you work with mustard oil, you want to make sure that the oil is really hot. It has to come to literally a smoking point. Otherwise, it doesn't have a good flavor. So you have to really smoke it out, and then you have to let it, you have to turn down the heat and cool it a little bit so that you can extract the most flavor out of it. As far as the other spices go, the only other thing that I'm going to be using is some salt. And that too I may not need a whole lot of, because I added salt when I boiled the spinach. Okay, so we're just going to wait for the mustard oil to heat up. This burner takes a minute for that to happen. And you'll smell it, like it's very aromatic, so you'll smell the pungence of it as it heats up. You'll be able to see the smoke. Now it's incredibly bright here, so you may not be able to see the smoke rising, but if you do it on a stovetop, under a hood, you'll really be able to see the smoke rising. And if you want to test it, you can actually just drop in one Nigella seed and see if it's crackling or bubbling around the seed. Then you know that the oil is ready. So I'm still going to give it a couple more minutes. Hi Deborah, welcome. We are making some water spinach. Rich in nutrients, just a little bit different from regular spinach, but we're just doing a simple garlic and onion stir fry with it. So I hope you'll give it a try. Okay, the oil is nice and hot now. So the first thing that's gonna go in are our 2 Thai chilies. Just gonna fry them out a little bit. And you can do this in as little or as much oil as you want. Ideally, the Bengali or East Indian stir fries, they don't have too much oil in them, and they're supposed to be eaten course by course. So different courses keep coming along as the person serving you keeps piling on different mounds of rice every few minutes. It's a lot of rice. Okay, I'm gonna put in the nigella seeds. You see, yeah, the oil is nice and hot. It's gonna take a couple of minutes to bubble and release its aroma. Now, if you didn't want to put the Thai chilies, you can also put dry red Sichuan peppers. Or the dry red chilies, you can put just one of those. Give this a good stir. And the next step is to really fry out the garlic really well in your recipe. So that's the first step. You really want to fry out the garlic with the mustard oil first. Then the onions go in. They don't have to be caramelized all the way. You can really smell like the combination of the nigella seeds, the Thai chilies, the mustard oil, the garlic. It's almost like sitting in Italy without going to Italy. So you'll see that the garlic kind of releases its sweetness and it tends to caramelize. So just keep scraping it off the pan and fry it really well. Very aromatic right now. So gonna keep breaking it down for any big pieces that might be there. You don't want a mouthful of garlic. So unlike Italian cooking where garlic is added to cold oil, most Indian cooking actually heats up the oil to the max, and then we add our aromatics of garlic and ginger, because you want the flavor to stay in there for a long time and you want it to blend in with the different components of your curry. Whereas in Italian cooking, you want the flavor to be stronger and deeper, so you add it to cold oil. That's the difference. Oh, it smells so good here. Oh my God, it takes me back to my childhood. I grew up with in my grandparents. I used to go for summer vacations to my grandmother's house, and my mom and all were 11 brothers and sisters. Everybody had kids. It was a huge family, and every day there were 40 people that had to be fed. So it was one big party at all times. If you just saw the size of the pots and pans in my grandma's kitchen, you'd be like, oh, what? Yeah. Okay, so time for the onions to go in. We are going to continue to saute these. We don't want to brown them or caramelize them. Hi Sadika, how are you today? I'm making a Bengali recipe, oh sorry, from my childhood that I grew up eating, but I had no idea how to make it. So I had to call my mom this morning to ask her how it's done. Alrighty. And did I tell you I'm working on a new book? Yeah. So I'm working on a new ebook, which is all recipes that are Indian but not quite Indian. So keep an eye out for that. If you like what you see and you want to order any of the products, I have a line of spices that you can get at www.queenscurrykitchen.com. Order online. That'll make your Indian cooking journey easy because it's an all-in-one spice blends that I offer. So You see, I'm just trying to make these onions a little bit translucent. They still have to have a little crunch to them. You don't want them to be soft and soggy, and you certainly don't want them to be brown. We are not doing any caramelization here. And you know, when you work with less oil, you take longer to saute whatever you need to saute, because you're depending totally on your pan and the interaction of the food with the heat, instead of using oil as a catalyst to speed up the process. So I appreciate your patience in bearing with me. But that's all there is to this recipe. So the onions are translucent right now. I am going to bring a little bit water so that I can deglaze. I'll add just a few drops. This helps to steam up and soften the onions and helps to deglaze whatever caramelization is going on. So if you are an oil-free diet, then you can basically just saute with water, and it's called the water saute method. If you'd like to see that, you can always leave me a comment and I'll be happy to demonstrate that one of these days. It's unthinkable to say that you can have Indian food without any oil, but yes, you can, and I've made it many times for many of my clients. So I'll be happy to show you some quintessential Indian dishes without oil. So if you're interested in something like that, definitely leave me a comment. All right, now is the time to add in the water spinach. Hi Anu, how are you? Welcome to Queen's Curry Kitchen. We are making some water spinach. I don't know what it's called in Hindi, but I know that in Bengali it's called kolmi saag, that's what it's called. And it really has a very kind of a spinachy flavor, but it has a sweet undertone. And the fact that we drained out the water after we boiled it is going to ensure that it's not going to have a brackish taste. That's all you need. You don't need to add any of the masalas, any of the spices, just a little salt, tons of garlic, and we're just going to give it a quick saute. I will check for seasoning because I added salt when I boiled the spinach. I mean, it's a little disappointing to see that a big bunch of water spinach that look like this is actually reduced down to just that much. But you know what? Even a little bit goes a long way. It's such a delicious thing to put in your wraps. I'm going to serve it with plain boiled rice, white rice, because that's the way I grew up eating it. But if you want to serve it inside a wrap, if you want to serve it on toast, hey, who knows? So, oh my God, the aromas are incredible right now. It's got a very sweet, spinachy aroma. And of course, that combined with the garlic and the mustard oil is really phenomenal right now. So you'll see that it's still releasing a little bit of moisture. I'm going to go ahead and taste it for salt. Just make sure it doesn't need... Actually, all it needs is probably just 2 pinches. So maybe 1 and 2. And I'd also salted it sparingly when I boiled it. I'm using Himalayan pink salt, but you can use whichever salt makes you happy. Okay, so I'm just going to gather everything, bring it to the center of the pan. You're trying not to waste anything. And I'm going to cover it. Turn down the heat, give it a couple of minutes, and that'll be done, right? So see how simple and how easy it was to just do a quick water spinach. Something that's a vegetable that's easily available. We never ever gravitate towards it or pick it up. So you know what? Next time you're in an Asian supermarket, don't forget to pick it up. Come home and give it a try. The Thai chilies. And let me know how you liked it. If there's any recipe from your childhood that you like to eat but don't know how to cook, let me know what that is, because for me it's definitely this recipe. I've eaten it for years, but I just never knew how to cook it. Excuse me. All right, so just like that, it's already done. You can see it's completely done. It's dry. It's ready to serve. So I'm going to turn off my heat. But like always, thank you so much for joining me, for being a part of this food demo. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time and coming and seeing me here. It's a beautiful day out there. Go there with your mask. Enjoy, get some fresh air. And don't forget to tune in for another recipe right here in the Queen's Curry Kitchen. So this is Queen's. We make curry in our little kitchen. You're always welcome to join me. Be safe, be happy with your families, make the most of the time that you have, and I will see you in another one. Until then, be blissful, be flavorful, and do not forget to tell your loved ones how great they are. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye now and take good care.